Hello and welcome to episode 69 of Creating a Legend. I am the FM Novice. Join me today as we play Olympic D in the last game before the winter break. Since we were last together, which was the away tie to Shakhtar Donetsk on the 27th of October, we are unbeaten and we are not conceding too many goals either. We played against Alexandria, beat them 1-0, Dimitri Krush scoring the solitary goal in that one. Before playing away at Zirka, 2 goals from Krush in that one, with Livio Peretti also getting on the score sheet. That game was done and dusted before half time. And then away trip to Portugal and Maritimo, Denis Yanikov scoring the only goal in that one. A much changed 11. This gave us a comfortable victory. Before, a disappointing result to be fair. Chornomorets at home, a 1-1 draw. Mussolini scoring a late goal to get us back in that one. He came off the bench to secure a point. Before playing against Desna in the Ukrainian Cup quarter-final. A game where we almost blew it. 2-0 up after 25 minutes, Mussolini and Svatok, and then Alvarado scoring just before half-time. We went 4-3-3 in the second half to give it a bit of a try. It's something we've used to good effect to get ourselves back into the game earlier on in the season, but we tried it when we were in the lead, and it almost didn't pay off for us. We conceded 2 in 2 minutes in the 81st and 83rd minute, but we hung on in the end to secure a place in the semi-final where we play against the mighty Dynamo Kiev. That'll be fun. Then we played away at Lazio in the Europa League and we didn't win. The first time we've ever not won a group stage tie in the Europa League. Jason Alvarado scored 2 in 2 minutes to give us a 2-0 lead after 11 minutes, then got sent off after half an hour. Then in the second half, Lazio came back as they scored 2 in 2 to get probably a deserved 2-2 draw in the end. Vladislav Kravchenko picked up a knock in that one, which means he's out for a few weeks' time. And then we played Maripol and absolutely battered them. 22 shots, 11 on target, none went in. I've never been so frustrated in all my life because we just one goal and it was a comfortable victory, but we just could not get the goal, and that was just frustration. But we bounced back. This season we have always been able to bounce back. Away at Desna, who are the whipping boys of the league. Fofana, Krush, Ferretti and Vitaly Olimpic scoring his first goal for the club to give us a comfortable 3 points, and then another relatively comfortable 3 points at home against Zoya. Chernik with 2, Yanikov, Alvarado and Svatok with a penalty. Paulinho scored 2 quick goals for them to bring it back to 3-2 at one point. However, we just kicked on and got a couple of late goals to give us a 5-2 victory. And then we just played the home tie against Feyenoord, beat them 1-0, Hamid Fofana with the goal. We have played a lot of matches. We've also had a little bit of news coming on. So first things first, Bogdan Kovachenko becomes the first player to be capped by the Ukrainian national team while playing for Gelios. Finally, someone has done it. We've had several players called up, including Kovchenko a couple of times, but he has now made his debut. We are also embroiled into a bit of a takeover at the moment. This is a will they, won't they scenario. Several times the talks have been on the verge of collapse, but several times they have continued. The transfer is Joseph Yao, a 18-year-old Ivorian goalkeeper. If you've been watching the save for a few episodes, you'll notice Ivorian coming from ASEC is a bit of a trend. Fofana and Dembele both came from this club, and this guy looks to be just as talented. He's a potential 4.5 star goalkeeper. Current ability is 2.5 star. Only 18 years old. Already made his debut. Played the Zoya game. Final bit of development to talk to you through before we actually get into today's game is that we have improved some of our facilities. When we got the money, which was at the start of the last season, when we sold Karat Liasa and got into the Europa League group stages, we set about improving our facilities. So our youth recruitment is now on average. It started off at limited, so that's gone up 4 notches. Junior coaching is now average, was minimal. Youth facilities started out at poor, is now below average, and our training facilities started out at poor and are now below average as well. Basically, I'm following the principle of every time I play a couple of games, I'll go to my board and see what I can improve. And we are searching for a site for a new stadium. At the moment, we play in Vorskla, which is about 200 odd miles away from where the city of Kharkiv is actually based. So we are searching for a new site of a 5,000-seater stadium, which is a little bit low in my opinion, but we don't get that many people come to our game, so it'll probably be okay for now, but maybe 3 or 4 years in the future when we're in the Champions League, hopefully, then it'll be a bit too small for us, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it, eh? So that league table makes fairly pretty viewing if you're a Gelios fan. 17 games gone, and we are pretty much guaranteed, I think, the minimum of 3rd place. 10 points clear of Olimpic D, who are in 4th. Obviously, if we play them today, and if we lose to them, that might get a little bit more tight, but I'm confident in our boys. We're also 8 points clear of Dynamo Kiev. That is huge for us. We've never been that far ahead of them. So the team for today's game is Sarniowski in goal, back 4, Dembele at right back, Valencia at left back, Mikhailov and Svatok as my 2 central defenders, Dmitry Krush from the right, Hamid Fofana from the left, Starkov, Ekrem and Kogut in the middle with Livio Ferretti up front. Jason Alvarado is suspended for this one. It'll be nice if this can be a fairly simple routine victory as we move on towards the back end of the season. You'll notice that there hasn't been a huge amount of episodes so far this season. It's because I'm anticipating and hopefully having some success at the end of the season as our left back Valencia slams the ball in after 5 minutes to give us a 1-0 lead. Good throw in by Dembele, found Kogut, who found Valencia in acres of space, and he streamed it into the top corner of the net. That will do as a start. Corner, Ferretti to take, whipped in, back sticks, Svatok with the header over the bar though. We are absolutely dominating games of football at the moment, but we have lost Ferretti to an injury, which means Denis Bezrudenko, who has only had fleeting appearances so far this season, has a chance to get 75 minutes under his belt. There's very much a changing of the guard with Gelios at the moment. Lots of players who've been with us for a few seasons moving on at the end of the season or in January if I can get them out of the door, as Dmitry Krush makes it 2-0 to Gelios. Stop scoring goals when I'm trying to talk things through. It's very interrupting. So what was I talking about? I was talking about players moving on. Yes, lots of players potentially out of contract at the end of the season and being sold off if I can, and lots of players coming through. So very much a different squad development dynamic changing over the next. It's already started, but over the next sort of few months or so we'll have a lot of different players. Basically most of the players that you'd have expected to see in my side haven't really been involved, and they will be moving on. Players like Vladislav Kravchenko, Alexei Gusalik, Denis Bezrudenko, those sort of guys out of contract and moving on. I asked for a fairly routine victory, and at the moment things are going well. Valencia and Krush with the goals to give us a 2-0 advantage at half time. The only sour note, Livio Ferretti picked up an injury in the first half, had to go off. The only change made at half time is Maxim Klimakov, our 16-year-old, 17-year-old right back, has come on for Abakeli Dembele, who's picked up a booking just to give him a bit of experience in the side. Sarniowski, goal kick to Svatok. Sarniowski now to Mikhailov, to Klimakov. 2 academy graduates in the starting 11 at the moment, which is sensational for us. Kogut now driving forward. Plays it back to Valencia. Cheeky back heel into Ekrem. Starkov now finds Bezrudenko. Bezrudenko shoots straight at the goalkeeper. It's definitely step up in the terms of the ability of the players as Krush gets in. Krush shoots, and Krush has scored. Second goal for Dmitry Krush. One of a number of players that I'm just waiting for the bids to come in. Ekrem's one of them. Krush is another. Fofana as well, and Dembele. All of them have very high release clauses, plus 10 million for all of them, and it won't be long before those bids start coming in because they're all quality players. We have made 2 subs so far. We'll look to make a 3rd. Just trying to work out who I want to take off. No one really stands out. I think I will make a change. Bring Mkhitaryan on for Starkov, just to give him a bit of a breather. Mkhitaryan's done alright in the games he's played so far. Lots of them from the bench, but happy with his contribution so far. As Klimakov takes a throw into Ekrem. Crossfield ball, Svatok now picks up to Valencia on the left hand side. Fofana now driving forward. Whips it into the back post. Crushes there and hits the post, looking for his hat-trick. 87 minutes gone. A fourth now would just be the cherry on the top of the cake. As Kogot has the ball. Fofana into Bezrudenko, into Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan hits the post. Keeper should really have dealt with that, but it won't matter. The 3 points are staying in Kharkiv, and that is it. We head into the winter break in fine form. Our last defeat was at the back end of last season, so we have now gone at least 6 months unbeaten. Brilliant effort from the boys. Join me when we get back to the league action, which will probably be Dynamo Kiev, or it might even be Europa League knockout stages. Hopefully the takeover would have been completed by that point. There might be 1 or 2 signings, there might be 1 or 2 players going out. Who knows? It's always tough to tell with Gelios Kharkiv. But you'll join me then. So thank you very much for watching. I've been the FM Novice. You've been the audience. We'll talk again soon. Good night.